Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I think it's time for a little bit of a homeschool update, like a what's working and what ain't working. So y'all stick around. So far, we have done okay. Okay, I'll just say that. Like, it's not been terrible, but we also haven't been functioning at our best. I think we've gotten really good at adapting, learning to go with the flow, but not so good at consistency when it comes to school. So a little bit of where we are. We're actually we're about halfway, probably a little more than halfway done with our school year. For those of you who may be new to my channel, we actually typically school mid-January-ish until like mid to late October-ish. So like I said, we're kind of right in the middle. We are going to have a break coming up soon. We take 3 weeks off, kind of end of June, early July, kind of just depends on how it all falls. But that is coming soon. And so we are very much looking forward to that. But that is our school year. So that, like I said, we're kind of right in the middle. And man, it has gone by so incredibly fast. I feel like we have gotten a lot of things accomplished, but also not a lot of things accomplished. And I think that's just because this year, it has just looked so different for us. The main thing being, we didn't start our year with gather round units. We actually started with a couple other things to kind of ease us into the year, which I think was really, really great for us. But it just, I don't know, it just seems like that was just not like that, almost didn't count as school time, because we are so used to really just being gather round exclusive. But it was nice. It was nice to kind of step out of that and do something different. And so then we got back into our gather round units. We are finishing up inventions and ideas currently, and then we will be on to something completely different, completely new, at least this week. That is the plan. Now, that very well could change. My daughter could change her mind and decide to wait. And if she does want to wait, then this particular thing will have to wait actually until next year, because it's either a start it now and we'll have time to finish, or we're just gonna have to do that when next year starts, and we can do some of the fun other units that I already have planned. So that's a little bit of kind of like a schedule update. One thing, this is kind of my main, like, not working, was morning time. Y'all, morning time turned out to be just a not good thing. It was working fine for a while. We would start the morning, my daughter would get up, we would do breakfast, we would go outside, take care of all of the animals, all the things, come in, get ready for the day. And then, my daughter would get ready for the day. That's kind of key element here. And then we would do Bible. We do a rotation of handwriting and explode the code. So, Explode the Code is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursday is handwriting. So obviously, depending on what day of the week, she would do those. And then what else did we have for, I guess that was it. And then she also has reading time, but she normally didn't get to that. And I feel like we were also doing like a writing prompt, or doing some kind of other Bible something. I feel like there was something else that I was trying to get in during that time. And then from there, we would do our gather round unit, and then we would do math, and then lunchtime, and then it was free reign after that. That wasn't working, y'all, because I could not get all of that done before lunchtime. Like that, it's a lot. And I am an early riser, okay? This is why I said it's important that, to notate that my daughter would get ready, because I get up early. I get up at 5:15, 5:30-ish. Well, actually more like 5:15. When my husband gets up and, I help get him out the door, lunch, coffee, breakfast, all that stuff. Get him out the door 5:30, 5:35 roughly. But my daughter is also an early riser. And so she was starting to get to the point where she's waking up at like 6 o'clock instead of like 6:45, 7. And 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes was not enough time for me in the morning. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like, she got a whole 30 minutes. But like, I want to sit and I want to enjoy my cup of coffee, go through all my emails and work things and all of that kind of stuff. A little bit of social media in the morning, a little bit of book reading, a little bit of Bible reading, just have a little bit, 20, 30 minutes to myself in the morning for that type of thing. And then I like to get dressed. I like to turn on a little bit of tunes or a podcast and spend another 30 minutes or so getting ready for the day. And that was becoming increasingly more difficult because as soon as my daughter's feet hit the floor, it's go time. Like, she's hungry right now. She needs breakfast right now. We need to go outside and we need to do all the animals. And then we need to come in and then we need to do this. And then she wants to do that. And then we're over here and then we're over there. And it just got very, it was too much. And then it was like, rush through, hurry up and get it all done because she's not going to tolerate much after lunchtime, because that's not been normal for her. It's been that we are done with school before lunch, but like that wasn't what was happening. We've added more animals. We've just with more things. We've added more things to do. And so it became a sticking point. And the fact that it was morning time, I feel like really made it so significant because it was like every day we were starting our day off on the wrong foot. Every day I was frustrated and annoyed and aggravated because I didn't have time to myself. I couldn't get myself ready in the morning. I couldn't drink my coffee. She was coming in. She needed this, wanted that. Now she's bored because she's been sitting here for 15 minutes. She's starving hungry because I need to, finish getting dressed and she doesn't want to wait. So it was not working. Morning time was not working. So I got a couple ideas from Made to Homeschool community. I got a couple ideas from Instagram. And one common thing that I saw was the clocks, like I think they call them like sleep trainer clocks. I don't necessarily need it for sleep training. I just needed it for like wake up training. And it's just like it's the little clock. I should have grabbed it out of my daughter's room, but it's a little clock, and it shows different colors based on like sleep time, what time she can wake up and play quietly in her room, and then what time she can come out of her room, either for breakfast, to get me, whatever. Of course, unless there's like some kind of extenuating circumstance, right? So unless she's feeling sick or something like that, obviously she can come get me. But just, if everything's going normally as planned, it gives her, a little bit of a buffer. It gives her 30 minutes that she can do something quietly in her room. Legos, Barbies, color, draw, read, I don't care, in your room quietly. And we've only had that for a couple of days, so we've not quite settled into it too much, but so far it's done pretty good. We'll see. I can give you a little update on that, but so far so good. I think she likes knowing those types of things and likes being in control a little bit of that and knowing what time it is. She loves to know, what time she woke up in the morning. So I think that is a really nice thing for her. The other main big change that I made that I think made the most difference was I rearranged like this, just like that. I just did a little flop of what we complete when, because obviously what we were doing was not working. And I found that we were rushing through our gather round units and we were rushing through math. And one thing that I learned last year was we really enjoy the gather round units when we spend a little bit of time in them. It's not one of those things you can just read and just be done with. Well, you can do that, but we enjoy it a lot more and there's a lot more fun with it if you dig in a little bit. So if you do some of the extras, if you do the craft, if you watch, a handful of the videos while you're reading the teacher's guide, all those things just make it more fun and engaging and enjoyable. And I learned that last year when we did a lot of the continent units. Well, we were in such a, rush to try and get done before lunchtime. I was in a rush because I'm like, after 12 o'clock, she is out, she just does not do well. So we did our unit first. I'm like, what? We're rushing through it all. We're not even enjoying it. Let's just do it first. It takes the longest. It is the bulk of our curriculum. So let's just do it first. If we can start it roughly 9:30, no later than 9:30, but if we can start it somewhere around 9, that would be really great. That we can have a whole hour to just spend on gather round. Sometimes it takes us a little bit more time. Sometimes it takes us a little less. Just depends, but that's a good starting place. Like we'll just start at 9. So we've been doing that. And then math. Generally, math is like 10-15 minutes. That's going great. That's still the Math 2 from The Good and the Beautiful, which she just completed the Unit 2 assessment. So we are officially on to the second half of Math 2. But it takes us like 10-15 minutes, maybe 20, but really not usually. And then typically by that time, it's lunchtime. And I was like, man, I don't know. We're gonna have to wrap it up and make it happen a little bit faster. But now that her independent work is after lunch, she is responsible for doing that. Before we can go play and we can pool and we can, whatever we want to do, these are the things that you need to get done and they don't require mom. So Explode the Code, handwriting, More Than Words, which is what we are using for Bible, her independent reading, her reading log, book reports, and then we have the Skylight calendar that I shared with you guys around like Mother's Day. That lists all of her chores. All those things need to be completed before we can move on to other things. And that has worked out beautifully thus far. It kind of puts it on her. We have completed the things that mom is required to complete and work with you. Everything else is going to be on you. And so whenever you want to get those things completed is then when you will be able to go and do some of the fun extra things that you want to do. And that so far, we've been doing that for a couple of weeks now, and that seems so much better. One, I'm not rushing in the morning time, trying to hurry up and get ready and get out and do all the things because she knows with the clock, again, only a couple of days, but even I was doing this even before that. So this is an encouragement to you. If something is not working, step back from it, reassess the situation, see what you can do to make minor changes. That's all I did. I just switched 2 things around. I said, hey, we're going to put this at the front and put this at the back, and we'll see what happens. Turns out that worked out great this time. So those things, you've got to be able to adjust and adapt, which we have done really good with this year. But consistency, like I said, has been really hard. There's been lots of things changing over here, and lots of things have come up, and we've had to stop, and we've had to leave and go here and stop and go over there. And we've had, 4-H, and we had dance things, and we had co-op things. And it was just like, it seemed like I just could not get my feet underneath me. But those things have settled, and we're getting back in the groove, taking care of morning times. I am in a much better mood, which means I can handle things a little bit easier. So, but I think that's it for today's video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.